everyone, and welcome to episode 652 of Good Luck High Five. I'm one of your regular hosts, Megan.
And I'm one of your irregular hosts, Tyler.
That's right. Maria is out today, so I am joined by Tyler, who is in fact filling in for me while I fill in for Maria.
As we always do.
Yes. And also, we are joined today by Judge Rob.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you so much, Judge Rob, for being here. It is, of course, our very special Judge Rob episode, as Edge of Eternities Prerelease is this weekend. How are you all feeling? How are you all feeling about Edge of Eternities Prerelease?
I'm excited.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
wow, you
magic
guys
in
don't
space.
go crazy.
I was trying to come up with a joke that didn't sound too much like, I've been on the edge for a while now, and now we get to come off the edge. But I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, you did.
I'm
you
excited.
Did say it.
I love science fiction. I've read a tremendous amount of Gold and Silver Age science fiction. And this is referencing a ton of that stuff, a ton of more modern things, and it's a good looking set. The art is phenomenal.
That is true.
The art is amazing. So Judge Rob is, of course, here today to walk us through all of the mechanics that are in Edge of Eternities and any complicated or twisty card interactions. But before we get started, we have some people to thank, and first and foremost amongst them are you, the listeners, and especially the patrons of this show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who is a patron, who has been a patron, who will become a patron.
The future selves.
And yes, our future selves, they're all out there. And thank you especially to new patron Sierra. Thank you, Sierra. I see you. Oh gosh, I Sierra you being really great.
That worked. That was good.
Yeah, thank you. Either of you want to give a roll on that pun?
Ooh. I feel almost Sierra'd by how warm the love that I feel from your subscription is. It's like seared. It's like seared.
Yeah,
Sierra'd.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sierra, I'd be part of your club.
I like
That's good.
that.
There we go. Judge Rob, you want to go?
I can see an era of excellence coming on.
Very
This
good,
podcast
Rob.
was a result of
Very good. Oh, that's excellent.
All right,
That was
a very special Judge Rob pun just for you, Sierra.
and an excellent one at that.
Being a patron gets you access to all kinds of incredible things. Most importantly, it gets you access to our Discord and to early episode releases of both Good Luck High Five, the podcast, and to our Commander Arcade episodes. Speaking of, we have an episode up on Commander Arcade right now. That is, why did that sound like a question when I
I'm
said
not
it?
sure.
Right now?
It's true.
Do you not remember when it went up?
The thing is that I wasn't asking a question. I was certain, but I just couldn't help the way that it sounded.
Wow.
That is up right now. That's us playing unique Edge of Eternities commanders. That's a ton of fun. And of course, most importantly, any patronage that you give us helps us make all of this content. So again, thank you all so very, very much from the bottom of our hearts. All right, Judge Rob, let's get going.
Yeah, let's kick it off with my PSA.
Yes.
I love to always start with a PSA, and this is one about communities. I've seen this in a lot of Magic communities and non-Magic communities, chatting with people who run things like veterans communities, people who run local book clubs, all sorts of stuff. Communities are defined by the people that show up. If you want something to be better, if you want, you think your local library could use a better book club, if you think that your local veterans organization could use somebody who's helping out people more, 95% of it is showing up. You'll be like, I'm not the best at this. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how good you are at something. If you're the person that shows up and does some of the work, you are ahead of almost everybody that's part of these organizations. I see it in judging. I see it in local stores. I see it in all sorts of things. We just ran an event this last weekend. Nerd Rage canceled their tournament due to there was a big concert that blocked off all the hotels. Nobody could come in. They canceled their tournament. And a bunch of local people, the people that show up, the people that run stuff, really excellent tournament grinders said, we want another event, and they put in the legwork. They aren't They aren't the experienced people at booking venues. They aren't the experienced people at running tournaments. They said, we want this to happen. And so we all got together and I said, I'll do this stuff that I'm good at. And they're like, well, we'll do this other stuff. We got together and we built this because they were the people that wanted it to happen, the people that showed up. 48 people got to play Magic. I had multiple people come up and say it was their favorite event of this whole RCQ season because it's right at the end of the season. Like it was a great time for everybody. But it was defined by these people who aren't the optimal, who aren't the perfect. They're just fine, but they want it to happen and they show up and put in some work.
I love that. Great PSA. Thank you, Judge Rob.
You're welcome.
All right. So the first thing that we're getting into after the PSA is returning mechanics.
Yeah. The big one is Landfall. So if we look at Tanuk Memorial Ensign here, he's green-red 1 for a 2/4 legendary creature Kavu Pilot. And it says Landfall. It's an ability word. Whenever a land you control enters, Tanuk deals 1 damage to each opponent. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card.
Love it.
Yeah. And so Landfall shows up every once in a while. Many sets will have like a Landfall-ish card or 2. There's a bunch in this set. We'll talk about lander tokens and making extra land drops and stuff that the set does later. But one thing I want to call it on Tanuk here is his Landfall is always going to deal a damage to each opponent. And then if it's exactly the second time, it deals a damage and you get to draw a card. Some stuff in the past would be instead do this thing. This doesn't say instead. It's do the thing and then do a second thing.
Nice. Tanuk's like you get both.
Yep. And if you have 3 lands, it'll be damage, and draw damage. So.
All right.
Very cool.
Also, congratulations to you for making 3 landfall triggers.
It's pretty good.
That turn.
Yeah. It's very possible in this set.
That's true.
There's a card that makes 2 lander tokens actually.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And so. One thing that isn't called out as a mechanic, but I want to call out is that you have to pay a lot of attention to is tapped creatures mattering and creatures becoming tapped mattering. Stationing, which we'll talk about in a little bit here, taps your creatures without them entering combat. And there's a lot of cards. So Starfighter Pilot here is white and 1 for a 2/2 creature human pilot. It says whenever this creature becomes tapped, surveil 1. And there's a lot of cards that say when this becomes tapped, do a thing. A lot of vehicle sets do this. The set also cares a lot about like just a tapped creature existing. It'll give you. There's creatures that say at the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, do something. And so you have to pay attention to the tapped and untapped status of stuff. I think a lot more than you normally even would, which is it's usually very important. But stuff cares about being tapped a lot.
Yeah, that is very good to know.
So, new mechanics. The new stuff, Warp. Starbreach Whale is a card with Warp. It is blue and 4 for a 3/5 creature whale with flying. And it says when this creature enters surveil 2. Okay, pretty cool. And Warp, blue and 1. The reminder for Warp is you may cast this card from your hand for its Warp cost. Exile this creature at the beginning of the next end step. Then you may cast it from exile on a later turn.
Love it.
Yeah. So Warp is if you have ever played with Evoke from Shadowmoor from Lorwyn Shadowmoor block. It is really similar to a weird form of Evoke. So it gives you an alternative cost in your hand that you can cast this for. You can cast this whenever you could normally cast the spell. So if something gives your cards flash, or there's a card that gives Warp, and some stuff might just be castable at instant speed if it has Warp, you can pay the Warp cost, put it onto the battlefield, or cast it. It's a cast spell. They can counter it. It enters the battlefield, and then at the beginning of the next end step. So if you Warp on an opponent's turn, it'll be their end step. On your turn, it'll be your end step. You will send it over to exile. And while it's in exile, you can play it. You can cast that spell, and you pay its normal cost from exile. Or if it has an alternative cost, you could pay the alternative cost from exile, because it just sets a permission you can play this from exile. You can't play it the same turn you warped it. You can only play it from exile on future turns. So if it has flash and you warp it, send it to exile, you can't play it again that same end step. It usually won't come up. Warped things don't get haste. So notably that whale, if you warp it onto the battlefield, it's a 3/5, can't attack that turn. What it can do is station things, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Heck yeah, it can.
Yeah, it's very good. And there's a card that I call out that like it looks really dumb. It doesn't have any triggered abilities. Almost all the warp cards have a like when they enter trigger that does a thing, or they set up something that's happening while they're on the battlefield, and then they leave. And then you can replay them later. Note that warping when they leave isn't dying. We'll mention that and we'll call it out, but it's not dying. It's being sent to exile in case it matters.
That whale wants to station a ship.
It really wants to station a
Let
ship, which
the
is really
whale crew a ship.
yes. Like it's you bring the whale inside and let it be a chief engineer and yeah.
Hey, whale, will you come take a look at my warp core?
Yeah. I mean, it knows how to warp, so it should know how a warp core works,
absolutely.
right?
You would think, yeah. I would think that would just kind of come naturally.
So we're going to move on to Void, though, which is the other one of the three big new mechanics. Tragic Trajectory is a card with Void. Single black, sorcery. It says target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, definitely.
Void. That creature instead gets -10/-10 until end of turn if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn. So Void says if you had something leave the battlefield, either under your control or an opponent's control, it doesn't count just your stuff. If you remember Revolt from Kaladesh, that counted your permanents, not non-land permanents, all permanents. This is a different set of cards. It's all non-lands. So fetch lands don't set up your Tragic Trajectory.
Yeah.
But your opponents, if you kill your opponent's creature, like trade in combat, or you attack with a bigger thing, they chump block, that turns on Tragic Trajectory's Void.
Yeah.
And it also checks if you cast a spell using warp, which is what if a spell was warped this turn. Even if they counter your warped spell, you warped a spell. So therefore Tragic Trajectory gets boosted up.
Nice.
And so that you can use this to do all sorts of stuff. There's a huge variety. Void is just an ability word. It's just reminding you. If you ignore that word and just read what the card does, it does what it does. Read them all the way through.
It does what it does.
It does what it does. You heard it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Judge Rob is here to tell you
It does.
the card does what it does.
Yeah, card does what it does. Like
This art is great.
Oh, that on
really
on
is.
Tragic Trajectory?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
just
is.
like
Love it.
So I don't know. Have you looked through this set sort of by color?
Not really, no.
Take a look through it. They like every color has its own defined color palette. I don't
Yes.
know. The art director was some kind of
Love
wizard. They
it.
actually got all of the black cards to look this exact same color palette that they had in Tragic
Yeah.
Trajectory.
That's really
except
cool.
for this person wearing white armor. That's clearly a white creature because that's
Yes.
what the same armor and color palette on all the white cards.
Sure.
It's really good.
Love it.
Moving on to spacecraft, stations, and stationing and planets. I could probably say those in a different order because we're going to talk in a different order. But so when we look at spacecrafts, so Debris Field Crusher here is red and 4 for an artifact spacecraft. It says when this spacecraft enters, it deals 3 damage to any target.
All right.
It has the ability Station. Tap another creature you control. Put charge counters equal to its power on this spacecraft. Station only is a sorcery. It's an artifact creature at whatever number plus. That's reminder text because it might not be an artifact creature. Spoilers for a little bit later. But then down underneath it has a call-up box that looks like a level up box if you played, infinite years ago when level up was in Rise of the Eldrazi. This says 8+ flying, and then it has red and 1. The spacecraft gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And then it's a power toughness box on the right side that says 1/5. That's all in that separate colored stripe, which I think is bad iconography because if you have color blindness or other color sensitive issues, this kind of annoying to call out. And some of them have 2 abilities, which are like alternating colored. It's not like Planeswalker abilities are called out and pretty vivid.
Yeah.
I think we could do better. But so this Debris Field Crusher, you get to have your creatures crew it. It's like a vehicle, but it takes the whole power into account, throws the counters on it, and then eventually, when it gets the counters, it's just on. And it has those abilities for the rest of all time. We're also going to talk about planets that are pretty similar. Adagia, Windswept Bastion, is a land planet. So spacecraft's a new artifact type, planet's a new land type. Adagia says this land enters tapped. It taps to add white, and it has station. So just like your spacecraft, you can tap creatures, put counters equal to their power on this. And at 12+, Adagia says white and 3 tap, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary. Activate only as a sorcery, which is super cool, and we've never seen anything like that
Yes.
before.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So planets behave a lot like spacecraft. You station into them as a sorcery. Your main phase, you pay the station cost, it puts that many charge counters on it, and eventually it turns on some ability of that land. This can be used the turn that things come out. This can be used even if you can't attack that turn, even if you have Summoning Sickness, this doesn't use the tap symbol, so you can station with things that are warped. You can station with creatures you just cast. And it allows you to conceivably immediately unlock a spacecraft. The thing is, though, like say you have 8 power to tap into that Debris Field Crusher, it animates, well, it hasn't been under your control since the start of the turn. It can't attack that turn. So all of the lands, all the planets that have station, all enter tapped. And all have a tap ability based on stationing. So you can't get there with the lands that turn either. The related to this, I wanted to call out spacecraft. There is a change to the rules for commander specific to this. And the commander rules change is if the thing is legendary and it has a power and toughness box on its front face, it can be your commander.
All right.
That's the specific change. It's super cool. Have you ever wanted to have a legendary car be your commander? There's a couple of those. You can play Sky Sovereign, for goodness sakes. And one of my favorite, Heart of Kirin. There's all these legendary vehicles that are pretty cool. There's actually a number of like colored ones, like the the Gronk, the Gatebreaker. And so there's a bunch of legendary vehicles historically, and they couldn't be your commander except for the really good one, the blue-white one.
The one that was specifically made
that says it can be your commander.
Parhelion 2.
Parhelion 2 is a good choice. Parhelion 2 is a great potential commander. That they have to have a power toughness box on their front face. And people have shorthanded this to legendary vehicles and legendary spacecraft can be your commander. That is not the case. There's a legendary spacecraft in the set. I'll call it out later. It cannot be your commander because it has no power toughness box on its front face. That is probably for the best in this card's case. I took a look at building it. I did Google it.
Rob, how do you know all this?
I know this. I specifically was building a deck for Commander Arcade, and I wanted to be a space elevator, and
who doesn't?
I built a whole deck and had it all together, and I was like, cool, this is insane. Why is this card allowed to be my commander? And I went and reviewed the rules, and I was like, well, this can't be my commander. Take this whole deck, throw it in the trash, replace it with a whole different library. The other library was cool. I was very happy.
It was, that's a good preview too, because that episode will be coming out soon.
This week?
Not this week, but the next week.
Next week. Okay, got it.
I'm so sorry. You'll be a space elevator someday, Rob. If you believe hard enough.
It'll happen.
Yep. Try hard enough and believe in yourself, and you too can be a space elevator.
That's right.
That's the real PSA. So the next thing I want to talk about, the next new mechanic is a new predefined token, Landers. So we're going to look at litho breaking here, which is just, this card is so funny, and the people that get it, and the people that don't are like, I don't understand what the joke is. It is red and 2 for an instant. Create a Lander token. Then you may sacrifice an artifact. When you do, litho breaking deals 2 damage to each creature. And then it reminds you what a Lander is, which is a Lander token is an artifact with 2 tap and sacrifice this token. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So it's Wayfarer's Bauble. You create tokens that are Wayfarer's Baubles, but they don't have a mana value. Their mana value is 0.
I love these tokens.
They're really good.
They seem really good.
They really do.
They're super sweet. They smooth out limited. It should be perfectly fine in constructed for certain things. Litho Breaking is a cool, flexible card. Yeah. Because it's a 3 mana instant that could be a Pyroclasm or could be a ramp spell. It is like, there's a bunch of these that all are like just cool in different ways. There's a bunch of like 3 2s for 3 that make a Lander, 2 2s for 2 that make a Lander.
Yeah.
There's a robot that exiles everybody's graveyard and makes a Lander.
Yeah. So much card for card.
There's a lot of card for card stuff. And then they just leave behind this piece of material that, I don't know, it's probably about equivalent to a blood, I would say, a lot of the time.
All right.
And blood is very good.
Yeah.
Blood.
So,
it is. Hey, you heard it here first.
You heard it here. We're not a medical podcast, but we will go as far as to say blood is good.
Blood is good. Yep. If somebody asks you for your blood, you ask them, are you using this for a charitable purpose, or like, are you going to pay me?
I think, and I feel like I might ask 1 or 2 more questions than that potentially, but yeah.
Oh, where
fair.
am I?
Who are you? What's
who are you?
Yeah, if you don't know where you are and someone asks you for your blood, that's a red flag for sure.
They're like getting your blood with consent's important, but not knowing where you are. That might be that's a red flag.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Judge Rob, you've got some individual cards for us.
Yes, I do. And I'm going to start with the big headliner that is all over the place, which is a card with Day Zero errata.
Yeah.
We love it.
You love to see it.
I don't. I personally disagree
you
with
don't
this.
love to see it.
I don't love to see this. It does happen sometimes. The precedents are like Oboro Envoy. That card is wild. If it doesn't have Day Zero errata, there's a bunch of other ones that have gotten errata. A Walking Atlas got errata for its card type. Just they forgot the word artifact on that card.
Oopsies.
So every once in a while they'll do this where they made a mistake and they go to press like, I don't know, 6 months ago or whatever that they lock in or longer. And so they might have known about this since, December. But it is what it is. Diplomatic Relations is green and 2 for an instant. It says target creature gets +1/+0 and gains vigilance until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Do y'all catch the problem here?
I honestly don't.
I'm casting this spell, and I control no creatures.
You
Up
can
to-
target one
up
of their
to.
creatures
Yeah.
with the first part
With
of
both
it.
with both parts
With
of it.
both
Yeah.
parts of it. That's
That is as
Yeah.
printed. That is
Yeah.
not how the card functions. If you're at your
that would
pre-release
be-
this weekend, it's murder.
Ooh,
It's a green murder.
Ooh, I mean, it's not quite, but yeah, it's close.
pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's pretty dang good. It's still pretty reasonably good, honestly.
Yeah.
Like this is going to make
Oh, yeah,
basically
for sure.
100% of my green decks in this format. But it has been errata to say target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains vigilance until end of turn.
Yeah.
It deals
that
damage
checks out.
equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls.
Yeah.
They announced this. There was an article on Wizards today about it that just mentioned the Day Zero errata, and it's going to play that way where it targets your thing and your opponent's thing on Arena. It's going to play that way in Magic Online, and you should play it this way at the pre-release. So hopefully people will announce this at the pre-release. Hopefully stores will do so. If not, make sure your opponents are aware that this is how this card functions. It's like I said, it'll make all your green decks. It's pretty good, but
It's not that.
It's not
yeah, it's
that
not.
good.
The thing is, it's not constructed level good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
definitely not.
even without the errata, like green murder is like
Pretty good.
It's pretty good, but it's not like it's 3 mana, and
Yeah.
so I would
It's
say
not
that
an
in
insane card.
Yeah, in standard, all the good removal is 2 mana, right? I'm not making that up.
No.
You have to play. You have
You're
to
not
play,
making that up.
Yeah, you have to play 2 mana removal that destroys anything. There's like Shoot the Sheriff is good. Shoot the Sheriff might be, I know, arguably post rotation the best removal spell in the format, but that's because it's 2 mana, right?
Yeah.
Murder is in the format.
That's
It's
true.
in
No one's
Foundation.
gonna play it.
Nobody
Yeah.
plays it.
Nobody plays murder.
Zero people play murder. So
Which is a good thing for society.
yeah.
0 people. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Yeah,
We are-
maybe a bunch of people would be in favor of diplomatic relations if this card had its better text. The next one up on my list is Cryoshhatter. Cryoshhatter is single blue for an enchantment aura with Enchant Creature. Enchanted Creature gets -5/-0. When Enchanted Creature becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it.
Wow. Nice.
This card is super cool. It shrinks a thing. It looks like, I read this and thought, this is a great combat trick. This is not a combat trick.
That is
No.
true.
It does not have flash. This looks a lot like a bunch of previous cards. This is not a rules trickiness. This is a, if you played a bunch of Magic, you get
Yeah.
locked in on certain things behaving certain ways. Usually there's a single blue like mediocre aura that like taps a thing at instant speed or is a combat trick. This is not that. This just you put it on a thing and then they have to figure out whether or not they're ever going to attack with it or block with it.
Yeah.
Which
Or
is
station with
a
it.
plus for those
Yep.
kinds of cards
Yeah.
because I mean, but a lot of the time they're going to want to block with it. So
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeremy Wilson on some incredible art here.
Yeah,
Yes,
this looks
very
really good.
true.
This
Really,
is
really good.
like, I
Very
don't
cool.
know. They almost certainly didn't pay him like the rate for a showcase style card, but he produced showcase style
Yeah.
art.
It was
which is
very,
great.
very good.
Focus Fire is my next one. Single white for an instant. Focus Fire deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, where X is 2+ the number of creatures and or spacecraft you control. I call this out all the time on these. This figures out its number at the time it's resolving. You play it, you think you know what your number is going to be. It figures out this X during resolution. So if they kill one of your creatures, they can scale it down.
Yep.
And they might do something crazy like, cast Litho Breaking and kill sweep up all your small stuff, and then their creature survives. But you do get to at least do 2 damage with it, which is nice.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Judge Rob, what's our next card?
Our next card is Cav Landseker. Reden 3 for a 4/3 creature Kavu Soldier. It has Menace, and when this creature enters, create a lander token. At the beginning of the end step on your next turn, sacrifice that token. That is entirely new phrasing.
Yeah.
We've never seen that phrasing before on a Magic card. It is super cool and weird, and you end up having to track the uniqueness of this particular token that it makes. That token matters. If you have 3 landers, you should sacrifice that lander. If your opponent's like, how do I know which lander is which? Just tell them, like...
Be like, this is the one the Landseeker made.
Yep.
I have no idea how Magic Online are going to show these.
Yeah.
So be careful. You might end up sacrificing the wrong lander. I can't control that. They hopefully there should be hypertext that says this was created by Cav Landseker.
Yeah. Or sometimes if you hover over, right? Like if your
there might be,
icon
like,
is
some
on it, it has like the
informational.
line.
Yeah.
This is honestly, I think they should have just like given it haste. Which is really stupid. Like, it doesn't do anything to give it haste, but then it puts a little icon on it.
The token haste.
So and they do this with stuff that animates lands now.
Yeah.
It used to be a big problem where if like you played Awaken the Mountain, or like there was a thing that made your mountain a 7/7, and you played it on the wrong land, it didn't give it haste, and it was like, well, I guess I lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which is a bummer.
Yeah, and online it was impossible to tell which land came out because they were like, yeah, you play all the same forest, it doesn't matter, they're all interchangeable. They're not. And so then you'd randomly get the wrong forest, you'd click on the front of the stack in Magic Online and get got. They changed that in the rules because they didn't want arguments over it in paper, and they didn't want it to come up online.
Makes sense.
I want them. I hope that the interface is good for this.
Yeah.
The other thing to note is this does technically trigger on your next end step, even if that lander doesn't exist. It doesn't matter unless you're playing like Judge's Tower, but it exists.
Yeah. Technically.
Don't get got.
Yeah. Don't get got.
Yeah, don't get got. And we're going to skip the next one because it was moved into the wrong section. So Atomic Microcizer is the next one on my list. It's single blue for an artifact equipment. It says equipped creature gets +1/+0. And whenever equipped creature attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. That creature can't be blocked this turn and has base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn. Has an equip cost of 2.
Love this.
This card is so cool.
Yeah, this card is really cool, and I love this art. I love this little guy with his little like pincher machine that's microsizing this hand.
But he's the Kavu, like he's just a Kavu. He looks almost exactly the same as the Kavu from Cav Landseker. Kavu were back, by the way, if you didn't realize, and you haven't been playing Magic in 20 years, you step out of a time machine and you're like, wait, we're in space now? Oh, Kavu, I recognize this, we're all good. They're just like big, angry, lizard-like folk. They're not actually lizard folk. They're their own thing.
Important to...
They're their own thing.
Yeah.
But Atomic Microcizer here is really cool because you get to target anything with this trigger. You can target a different creature you control. You can target one of their creatures.
It's very fun.
And so it downsizes the creature, so it might just make it easy for you to kill it after combat. Or you can target the creature that's attacking with Atomic Microcizer in order to sneak past. It is a very flexible and weird card, and just be aware that you can target anything.
Yeah. Very cool.
To shrink it. And that the equipped creature gets +1/+0 will apply on top of that. +1/+1 counters will apply on top of that because it's base power and toughness. So you'll be at least reasonably sized if you're attacking with it. You'll be a 2 power unblockable. It's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Next up on my list is Melt Strider's Resolve. It's a single green enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When this aura enters, enchanted creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Pick a thing, you punch. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. We don't see that text very much. There's a number of creatures with menace in this set. Hey, guess what? If you put this on a creature with menace, your creature's unblockable.
Whoa.
True.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
And also you probably will successfully fight because you got 2 points of toughness. Like, this is just reasonable removal and reasonable like unblockability or difficulty to block.
Yeah.
Close Encounter. This is a punch, and it's getting punched by an insect. Green and 1 for an instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, choose a creature you control or a warped creature card you own in exile. Close Encounter deals damage equal to the power of the chosen creature or card to target creature. So this is a little weird. Most fights, you pick targets and then or punches, you pick targets and then during resolution, it figures out what's still around and then does its thing based on what's out there. Close Encounter behaves a little strangely because you pick your card during casting.
Yeah.
And that's a little weird. This doesn't behave like a punch. If the creature isn't on the battlefield, it uses the last known information about the object. It says, it asks, hey, you revealed that thing back there. What's its characteristics right now? And it'll use the current characteristics if it's on the battlefield. And if it's not on the battlefield, it looks back in time and sees the last time it was on the battlefield, it had 6 power or whatever. And then it'll use that to determine how much damage it deals, which is a little strange as compared to the target and then figure it out on resolution.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for them to disrupt your close encounter.
Yeah. Which is nice. And it has the added bonus of being able to use a card that's not on the battlefield.
Yep.
Which,
There's a warp card coming up in a little bit here that is very useful for this.
all right.
Hymn of the Faller. I included this just because I love this card. It's not actually really that complicated. Black and
Fair
1
enough.
for a sorcery. Surveil 1, then you draw a card and lose 1 life. Void. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, draw another card.
Nice.
So it's just, the order is technically in this order. You surveil 1, draw a card, lose 1 life, draw a card. It almost certainly doesn't matter, but it could in some corner cases matter. This is just like the cool kind of thing they get to do, because this is significantly pushed, because I think that Void is worse than Rescue. Not Rescue.
Revolt.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking of there's a Rescue word that has Revolt.
Oh, sure.
True. Yep. So it's worse than Revolt power wise, but then you get cards like this, which are great payoffs.
Yeah.
Faller's Faithful is a black and 2 for a 3/1 human wizard. And when this creature enters, destroy up to 1 other target creature. If that creature wasn't dealt damage this turn, its controller draws 2 cards.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Very fun.
It's also a word maze. It's like a double negative in here. So you have to look at the creature and say, hey, creature, were you dealt damage? And the creature goes, sure wasn't, boss. And you go, all right. That means the controller gets to draw 2 cards. So you can use it as a removal spell that lets your opponent draw 2 cards. If your opponent blocks your small thing with the big creature, you can kill it and then they don't draw cards. You can also target your own stuff with this. There's a lot of like mediocre tokens in every set. This one has robots. It has a bunch of insects. It has a bunch of like drones that are made. They're all kind of bad. You can cash them in for 2 cards. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's very nice.
It's a very flexible card. Scrounge for Eternity. This is a black and 2 for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Return target creature or spacecraft card with mana value 5 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then create a lander token. So it's got an extra cost.
Yeah.
You pay it by sacrificing a thing. And the thing is that you pick targets before you pick costs. And so you pick a target thing that's already in the graveyard, and you sacrifice something else. You can't return the same thing that you're sacrificing as a fake flicker, which is, I've gotten that question already, and I'm like, nah, sorry. It's pretty close, but it's not quite there.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
It'd be pretty cool, but it targets as it goes in the stack. They know what it's going to be. If they exile your thing in the graveyard, which there's some instant speed graveyard exiling in this set, spell fails to resolve, and you do not get a lander token, which is the other half of this.
Rough.
So it's a little weird.
Brutal.
Yep. Caesarian Voidborn is my next one. I just really like the black cards in this set. Like, look at them. They're all look so gorgeous.
This guy is cool.
He really is. Oh, wow.
He's like sucking the brain out of a robot.
And
I don't even know what he's doing.
And the brain's getting sucked out of him, too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
By
kind
the
of,
planet?
Yeah,
I think,
or like
the void. Yeah, the void's like the Caesarian super void is like a black hole.
Yeah.
And so he's
You just got a little too close. You know, we've all been there.
Yep. I'll get a little too close to the black hole some days.
Yeah.
So the Voidborn here, though, is black and 2 for a 2/2 creature vampire soldier. Whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And it is warp for single black. This, you can warp it pre-combat, make an attack, and put them in a bad situation, because if they kill your attackers, you still get them. Note that when it leaves, it is exiled to warp. That is not dying, as mentioned.
Yeah.
So this is the poster card for pay attention. You don't just get to drain for 1 life when you warp this card. It's still reasonably good.
Yeah.
But it's not incredible.
Yeah.
Systems Override. Red and 2 for a sorcery. Gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn. Untap that permanent. It gains haste until end of turn. If it's a spacecraft, put 10 charge counters on it. If you do, remove 10 charge counters from it at the beginning of the next end step.
All right.
This is a little strange.
Yeah.
Like it removes charge counters from spacecraft, but it puts 10 on and then takes 10 off. You can use this to give your own spacecraft haste. And also like kind of like insta crew them and then throw it away or insta station them up.
Yeah.
And that'll get you up above and then down beneath. So you can target your own stuff with it. Untap things, give them haste. Untapping your creatures is very powerful in this set because you get to station a second time.
Yeah.
This is also cool because you can warp your creatures and then systems override them to give them haste. It is. I think this is surprisingly flexible. It's just very strange.
Yeah.
The way that it's going to behave in this set. There will be Galaxy Brain plays. This set has a lot of these like Galaxy Brainable plays, I think, which is appropriate for a space set.
Hey, it really is.
All Fates Stalker. It's white and 3 for a 2/3 creature Drix Assassin. Welcome to our new overlords, the new creature type, the Drix. I don't really understand what they're supposed to be, and that's cool. They're aliens.
Yeah.
They're just guys.
Yep. They're just, they're just Star Trek aliens. They're just like a human could play this character.
It's just alien.
Yeah. Well, no, they're humanoid shaped.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
right.
That's true.
I want my aliens to be really, really alien.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read
fair.
a lot
Alright.
of Adrian Tchaikovsky, and his aliens, like, my favorite from him are a species of, they're basically sentient mollusks, and they're very deeply incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Rob, have you read the Children of Time series?
Yes, Adrian
Okay,
Tchaikovsky's
great.
best trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Seems.
seems
Right up your alley.
It
seems like
it's
a
really
Judge
good.
Rob read.
Yeah, no, Children of Time is the best science fiction book of the last decade.
Wow.
All right.
Shots
Shots
actually, that's
fired.
not true.
Oh, okay.
I like Children of Memory better, but you have to have read
Okay.
Children of Time and Children of Ruin to get to Children of
Yeah.
Memory.
All right, fair.
So, and Children of Memory, man, Children of Memory is a heck of a book. But I want my aliens to be more
Yes.
aliens. The
Heard.
Corvids from Children of Memory, where the two Corvids together make one personality, is.
Now that's an alien.
Yeah, it's so weird because then they ask them, what do you do? And it's like one of the best line in the book is that's a witch. Are you their familiar? And one of the birds goes, well, I think that I would be the familiar, and she, pointing at his mate, would be the novel. And it's like. Because this is the one that handles memory and this is the one that handles processing, and together they form a whole brain. And it's so good and so cool and so weird. These aliens aren't weird enough. Sorry, that's my side on
Yeah,
aliens.
You know what, Rob? I did that. That
You
was
did.
on me.
You served it up, and
I really did.
Rob, you hit it out of the
Thank
park.
you.
Welcome to the text box in All Fates Stalker. When this creature enters, exile up to one target non-assassin creature until this creature leaves the battlefield. It is warp of white and 1. So the thing that it doesn't specify is non-token. You get to kill tokens with this on the warp front,
Which is sweet.
and then have it warp away, and then it doesn't give them back. They're tokens. They're gone as soon as they leave the battlefield.
Yeah.
You can also use this to flicker your own stuff. Just be aware that this warp behaves a little bit differently than some of the other warps, and it's also called out for non-assassin. There aren't any other assassins in the set. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's basically not this, so you can't set up a loop.
Sure.
Yeah.
Roving Actuator. This is red and 3 for a 3/4 artifact creature robot. Void. When this creature enters, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped this turn, exile up to one target instant or sorcery card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. So this is a little strange. The copy is cast. It's cast without paying its mana cost. So things that care about if you cast a spell will see this. Notably, like flurry stuff, if you play Roving Actuator and then exile something and then play it, that will trigger your flurry as your second spell for the turn. There's other things that care about the second spell in this set as well that are flurry style. And it is cast from exile. The card is exiled, then it's copied in exile, and the copy is cast from exile. So anything that cares about if you cast a spell from graveyard doesn't trigger.
Sure.
Anything that cares about casting a spell from anywhere other than your hand cares, or casting spells from exile cares. And there are some cards that care about that in this set. So it's a little strange. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Survey Mechan. Survey Mechan is the Stargazer. Like this is just, I mean, this is Captain Picard's original ship, right? Like, yep. So it's a 4 mana, 1/3 artifact creature robot, and it has flying and hexproof, and 10 mana and sacrifice this creature. It deals 3 damage to any target. Target player draws 3 cards and gains 3 life. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. Which is super cool. It encourages you to play a bunch of colors, a bunch of weird lands. You can use landers to fetch out random off-color basics to turn this down. The reason that I call this out is even if there are snow lands in the land station at your store, you can only play the 5 normal basic lands: swamp, plains, mountain, island, forest. You can only play those. If you were playing a snow swamp, it's just a regular swamp. Snow-covered swamp is in your pre-release not available in the land station. Same with wastes and snow-covered wastes. Neither of those are available.
Yeah.
So you can't easily, in like a 2-color library, end up with 4 land types without non-basics. It's just your basics. It just doesn't happen.
All right.
In Commander, I think this card's actually kind of okay because you can easily end up with like 6 or 7 or 8 land types. Like you can make, or land names. You can end up with every land with a different name.
Yeah.
And so you can end up with this being fairly cheap to activate.
Nice.
It's not actually that good because it's still a 4 mana card that costs you like 2 mana to activate or something. But,
Yeah.
it's pretty okay.
Oh. He'd do a job.
Yeah.
Yep. Lash Whip Predator. It's green 4 for a 5/7 creature plant beast. And it is so cute.
I know,
Like this is adorable.
It's
Like
really cute.
is.
like it is just a giant orchid that like harvests things from the sky.
Yeah.
It has reach.
Yeah.
So this spell costs 2 less to cast if your opponents control 3 or more creatures. And that's also a weird phrasing. We don't see that very much. If your opponents, plural, on a normal Magic set, there's 2-headed giant play. It counts the total number of creatures that your 2 different opponents in 2-headed giant have. And to figure it out, it's does a thing in Commander because it looks across all the opponents. You probably will never play this in Commander because even when it's live, and you can assume it's live basically all the time, it's just kind of like a 5/7 for 4 with reach. But like in 2-headed giant, this is pretty great.
Yeah.
And they're trying to spell that kind of stuff out pretty clearly because the other phrasing is awkward.
Yeah.
If there are 3 more creatures in the battlefield that you don't control, and people will be like, why does it say? No, it just says the word opponents, plural. Territorial Bruntar?
Yeah, I like that.
Bruntar. It's red 4 for a 6/6 creature beast. In space, we still have beasts. It has reach, and it has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card this turn. If you go past some lands, they're gone forever. They're just stranded in exile forever. Is the basic thing on Territorial Bruntar. The other thing is if you are playing this in a deck that has Final Fantasy, there's those adventure lands. Those are lands when they're in your library, and when they're getting exiled, he will go right past them and they'll be exiled forever.
The Bruntar doesn't see your adventure lands.
He doesn't see that. If you have modal double-face lands, which there aren't any in
The
standard.
Bruntar doesn't see your modal double-face lands.
Or no, he'll see them as spells because they've got the lands in the back.
He
Sorry.
does see your modal.
He sees modal
Just kidding.
He sees the characteristics as it is in exile or the library, not what it's going to end up being on the stack.
Yeah.
I'm glad he can see some things because it's from, maybe those aren't his eyes, but when I look at that,
It looks
so
like
many
it looks
eyes.
like there's a lot of eyes.
Many eyes,
Yeah.
Yep, space beasts. They got lots of eyes. Card I've been kind of teasing, Bygone Colossus.
Yes.
This is a 9 mana, 9/9 artifact creature robot giant.
Love
You
him.
would think it has a sweet ability.
Beautiful.
It has Warp 3.
Love him.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the only ability it has. It's actually quite good, I think. Because it doesn't have an ETB trigger. It is like you're throwing a 9/9 into the future that like just gets to hang out and you may not be able to like reanimate it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
9 is a lot.
9 is a lot. The thing with this is it looks like some colossal idiot, and it is, but this set needs those because it stations anything.
Yeah,
This
true.
mostly says whatever spacecraft you have,
Station it.
it can attack now.
Rob, it looks like it's a melancholy colossal.
Yeah, it is.
idiot.
It looks so. He looks so alone.
know,
He's so
really
tall that
is.
everything that he might love is way
Yeah,
far
he
below
towers
him,
above the clouds, and you can see the universe getting absorbed into a black
Being
hole.
big and stupid.
I don't think that this could exist. Like, I'd have to go try to do some math, but I think that if a black hole was visible like this, you're too close.
You done.
Yeah.
And also,
You're cooked, baby.
Yeah, it's not good. But it's a cool looking piece of art, and I
Yeah, it
really
really is.
Maxine Menard did a great job on this.
100%.
Diadrine Synthesis Amalgam, white green X for a 0/1 legendary artifact creature construct.
Do you know what? I don't like the look of this guy.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say it. Not about it.
Yeah, really. It's flowy, but in a way
And
that
it's-
disturbs me.
Yeah, in a way that's bad.
This is fine. This is what I want out of something alien.
Sure, it
I
is
assume
alien.
a tripodal alien with two heads made this.
Yeah.
Right? It meets their body plan and not ours. Like, it's fine. Like, this is good, and I like it to be weird and kind of off-putting.
Sure.
It is
I am
definitely
put
weird and
off.
off-putting.
Yeah, I am put off.
And so, so this is, I mean, is this referencing the Puppeteers? Because it's tripodal with two heads? For all of those of us who've read Ringworld? But Diadrine here says,
Yes.
Trample. It enters with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. So if you don't pick any number for X, it's just white, green, 0. You spent 2 mana on this spell. It enters with 2 +1/+1 counters.
Yes.
Whenever you attack, you may remove a +1/+1 counter from each of 2 creatures you control. If you do, draw a card and create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. So you need 2 friends, one of whom can be Diadrine. It can remove counters from itself, and both of them have to have a +1/+1 counter for you to eat to make a robot. You zoop up 2 power, 2/2 worth of counters, and you make a 2/2. It is pretty cool. It's always going to be the right size because it's basically like a robot Hydra. I think it's great. I think it's really neat.
Y'all want to go zoop up a sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can zoop up a sandwich.
The only thing I want to zoop up is some Toscana. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Weapons manufacturing.
Toscana. It took me a moment there to get on the same page as you, but now I really appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that.
So, weapons manufacturing. This is a room full of guns. It's
really.
literally just regular guns.
It does seem that way.
It's red and a 1 for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions with, when this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. That's it. There's no way to sacrifice them. Yeah, there's no way to sacrifice them. They don't have a sacrifice clause. It doesn't sacrifice them. You make a bullet and you set it out up there on the table.
So are you saying this is absolutely a pick one in draft every time, right?
So the thing is that there are a lot of cards that don't do anything on their own, right? There's build around like rares and uncommons that do stuff. And so if you what was it in Innistrad, the red and 2 enchantment, so whenever you flashback something, deal 2 damage, like that doesn't do anything, right?
True.
It does nothing. This doesn't do anything. If you have a few ways to sacrifice random artifacts, all of those munitions are shocks.
True.
Just there. So conceivably it might be. I don't know what the limited format's going to look like. I don't know if like you can definitely wheel all of those cards. They'll all exist.
Sure.
But you should be aware at the pre-release, if you don't have ways to sacrifice those munitions, this doesn't do anything.
I'll say from my perspective, I recommend not picking this pick one. I love what you just said there, Rob, and I think that I personally will be over the moon if I can build a deck out of this. But going into the set, I'm going to be planning to stay away from it.
Yeah. But just be aware. Sometimes there's build around cards that when you look at their text, it's like they don't do anything on their own. They pay off something else. This looks like a payoff card to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're playing artifacts and ways to sacrifice artifacts.
Yeah.
But it isn't even a creature. It can't attack or block.
It's
almost
just
certainly,
a room.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's
just
just
a room.
So it isn't even a room with 2 sides to unlock. Like this is a room with one side that says make bullets, and you're hoping that there's another side to this room that says shoot bullets. It doesn't happen. You don't
That's a
have
good
a
way
way
of
to shoot
saying
bullets. Zootopus Osteoharmonist. It is black 1 for a 2/3 legendary creature, human wizard, space wizard. Tap. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. I think this card is super cool. We have it on Commander Arcade episode that we just played.
Very cool.
So the thing with Zootopus here is it reanimates things. They only care about their size. If they have enters the battlefield replacement effects or triggers, those don't apply.
Yeah.
So if you have something that says it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, that doesn't apply. It doesn't get those additional counters. It only gets the body of what is coming up from the graveyard, and it's a skeleton, if that matters. And the
I'm just gonna go ahead and be Maria here and say, just like my dates.
Yay.
Okay. They only get the body.
They only get the body. They only get the body. Yep.
I felt
Perfect.
the spirit of Maria channeling
Yeah,
through me in that moment.
it entered into you. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Sorry. Keep
So
going.
it's all about the bones.
Yep.
So the other thing to note is this card has a bunch of like very surreal rules interactions. The object that you put on the battlefield loses its ability in the ability adding and removing a layer. If you're a layers kind of person.
Yeah.
But what this means is that it still remembers it has the other components. If you play an effect that copies that skeleton, that idiot skeleton that you picked up with Zootopus, it will enter the battlefield as the based object without the ability loss. And so then you end up with a full-on whatever it is. Flickering is also quite good. Because of the stuff that happens with warp. There's a bunch of like flickering-ish things in the set. That's pretty good. Bouncing stuff to your hand. There's no finality counter. This creature that dies after you reanimate into a skeleton falls back into your graveyard, and Zootopus just picks it back up the next turn.
Nice.
I predict this card will be super annoying to play against.
Yeah.
Limited.
Yeah.
Zootopus is like, I can make a skeleton out of anything.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true.
Skeleton I've already seen before. I can make a skeleton out of that.
Yeah. I built that Zootopus deck. I really sat and looked at it and I thought, can I make a version of this library that plays only things that don't have skeletons? And I thought about it really hard, and I decided I didn't have the time or the brain power to do
fair.
it.
But a noble
Someday.
A noble goal all the less.
Speaking of classic Rob, the Eternity
Elevator.
Elevator.
This is the door that I walked into. It is a space elevator. It's a 5-cost legendary artifact creature spacecraft. It taps to add 3 colorless. Cool. Station. Great. You can tap things into it to charge it up. 20 plus. This better be a good payoff. You do have tapped 20 power worth of creatures into it.
It's a lot of power.
It taps to add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. This is unreal. So in limited, you're probably like, you probably don't play this card.
I shan't be picking pick one this card.
Well, it's conceivable. So this is a 5 that puts you at 8 or 9 if you have another land drop. So you can cast your giant, you can cast your Colossus, right? The problem is that it doesn't do anything else. But in testing this as a commander, it was like having Metalworker in your command zone, which if you've ever played with Metalworker, you should not be able to start with a Metalworker like as an 8th card in your hand. It just, if you got to play this as your commander, you just play it on 5. Most of the time you can station it to 20 the same turn without having it be tapped. You just tap for 20 mana. That's a lot.
And then
even in Commander, there's
really
a lot of
interesting,
mana.
I am going to move. Sorry. I know that you want to daydream about this.
I know. I dreams. We should move on.
I know. But it's that you want to, it's that X mana. So if you overstation it, it's.
Yeah, it gets even more.
It gets
Correct.
even more.
Yeah. The minimum is 20. If you go up higher, if you put 50 counters on this, if you double the number of counters on this with any of the things that double counters, if you proliferate this up, it's more and more and more.
Wow.
If you can get this to 20 and you have something to do with the mana, you win the game in limited.
Yes.
There's so many ifs on that. It's just,
yes.
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Just
and most of the time when you draw this, you lose the game in limited.
Yeah, I would say unless your library really depends on getting access to 9 mana and you're some kind of a wizard that like built a deck that can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, more power to you.
Yeah, more power to you. To nuke, Steadfast Second. So this is the other version. I think all the legendary creatures in the set have 2 versions. I don't know if this is a history thing where they change their past or if it's just like different spots on their own history. But they everything has two versions of themselves.
Okay.
So this is to nuke the Steadfast Second. Red 2 for a 3/5 legendary creature Kavu Pilot. Other creatures you control have haste.
Nice.
Good for warp.
Yep.
And it's plays with warp. Artifact cards, and red creature cards in your hand have warp of red and 2.
Nice.
So you can warp in anything. It has haste with Tanuk. You get to attack with it. It's crazy powerful. He has basically sneak attack attached to him, and then they go to exile, so you can just cast them later if you want to, if it didn't kill them. But this is the guy that gives warp. If your card has flash, you can now warp on your opponent's turn. If you warp on your opponent's end step, then it'll be around on your turn with your mana untapped, so you can warp another thing. This, you need to have a creature with flash on their end step. It isn't going to come up.
Yeah,
but
has to even be a red creature.
It's a cool dream. It could be an artifact creature with flash.
That's true.
There's a few of those.
That's fair.
Quantum Riddler. I'm excited. There's a Space Sphinx. So Quantum Riddler is blue 3 for a 4/6 creature Sphinx.
I love this guy.
Yup, flying. When this creature enters, draw a card. Nice. As long as you have one or fewer cards in hand, if you would draw one or more cards, you draw that many cards +1 instead.
All right.
And then it has warp of blue and 1. So the thing with Quantum Riddler here is that card drawing ability is a replacement effect. It says, you're trying to draw a card? Hold on. How many cards do you have in hand? You have 0 or 1 right now? Cool. I'm going to change this card drawing, and I'm going to replace it with different card drawing. That event, drawing some number of cards, has already been replaced by this ability once. This ability can't replace it again. So if you have 0 cards in hand, it doesn't, and you try to draw 1 card, it isn't draw card. It doesn't draw you multiple cards.
I understand,
besides the +1. It's just basically if you're down at 0 or 1, you draw +1 cards.
Yeah.
It just has to be phrased this way because it's weird.
Oh, this guy's just so cool looking.
Yeah.
He's super
I
cool.
love this.
And like the floor on him in limited is you just blue in 1 cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you just draw a card. You're just like, I'm
and
not
then you
doing
get a
anything else.
4/6 flyer later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
That also draw card again.
there's no drawback to that. It's just going to sit out there because you get to cast it from warp for its normal cost later. You're
This
doing
card,
great.
yes. Go ahead and
Quantum
pack one,
Riddler.
pick one. This card.
Yeah, this
be
card's
my
great.
friend.
And that's what I got for this set.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even really touch the mythics. There's a bunch of weird mythics, like but
as is their way.
like
Yeah.
they do a bunch of stuff, but like there's one that is just like the card recycle. Whenever you cast a spell or play a land, draw a card. I don't know. It has no drawbacks. It's like just a 7-cost artifact, the End Stone.
Yeah.
There's gain control of target player's turn. We've seen that multiple times, and it's pretty straightforward. You get to see anything they can see except their sideboard. You don't get to look through their sideboard while you control them.
Yeah.
There's Tezzeret, searches for little artifacts. When artifacts enter, including tokens, you get counters on him. He's good. He's really powerful. But like for the most part, they're all just like really good text boxes, not really complicated text boxes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so like, yeah, you're looking through it, look at the
You
mythics
know,
and stuff. And
I'm just kind of vibing with these
Yep.
guys.
And just gandering, you know?
Yeah.
But like you can see how like all of these green cards have the same.
Mostly I'm just
Color palette.
appreciating this art.
I know.
The art
It's
is
so
really
good.
good.
It really
Glacier
is.
Godma is just like,
Yeah.
look at
Yes.
this. I love it so much.
And that's a tiny little spaceship. It's a scale spaceship.
It's a little
very
Trying to-
cool.
spaceship.
get away from
Trying
this.
to get away from him. Maria obviously isn't here, so we can't do cutest and grossest card,
Yeah, a
unfortunately.
tragedy.
I know.
I mean,
don't worry,
there's
we'll
a
be
strong
back.
front runner for cutest.
That's
that-
true.
well,
What
yeah.
we feel like it's that plant worm.
I mean,
Yeah.
That
No.
plant-
There's 2 very cute dogs.
Oh,
well, that's
yeah.
true, too.
There
So
are
those
some.
are the strong.
that plant
those
worm,
are the
though.
strong front runners.
That
yeah,
plant
that
worm.
plant. This. Or
Yeah,
plant
and the
beast.
Lashwhip Predator is also
Yes,
also very good.
cute. Oh, but there is that dog. You're right.
Yeah.
There is the dog.
There's the disabled dog, and then there's the dog that just wrecked your stuff and is
Yes.
just like wagging happily at you after he wrecked everything that you own.
He's just cracking codes, you know?
yeah,
Yep.
really
the
good
Code Cracker Hound.
guys.
Yep.
Really good dogs.
Yep. And so there's these good
Oh,
dogs.
yeah,
there's,
Chrome Companion.
Yeah,
What are you
Chrome
supposed
Companion
to
is
do?
the obvious front runner, and she would accuse us of cuteness creep. I'm pretty
I
sure.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Maria's
100%.
gonna, like, but the thing is that is this dog so cute that it comes
overpowers
back
that.
around?
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
overcomes it.
Yeah.
Like it's like, is it so cute that it can actually overcome being pushed? So pushed, it doesn't matter that it's
Yeah,
pushed.
yeah.
Yep.
These are the questions
Who
of our
knows?
lives.
Yeah, these are the questions. Well, Maria will be back to answer them probably,
Yes.
hopefully next week.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
Yes. Oh, what about this lobster? You know,
Yeah, the
there's
deaf
something kind
gastronaut.
of cute about a lobster.
regardless, yeah.
100%.
He's
And, like-
cute.
Yep.
he's,
Look at his little arms.
he's,
Yeah.
he's frying up something with
Yeah.
His little arms and his big arms. Like
Exactly.
he's an alien I can get behind. He's an alien that looks alien.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
That's because lobsters are aliens.
They are
I think
aliens,
That's
yes.
very likely true.
Did you know that if lobsters could they just live forever?
Yeah, they're immortal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Kind of
And
cool.
by that I mean like right, they just eventually like they just like bust through their shells.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
molt. They continually grow. They molt. The problem is that they run into situations where they like it's too much energy to molt.
Yes.
But they end up so big by that time. They're like, yeah, this lobster's like 75 years old. And I'm like,
Oh my god.
and they're enormous. They're
Yeah.
the width of this
That's
table.
this is why I don't eat lobster.
That's good.
I
Because
just
they're immortal?
respect them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's fair. That's fair. Respect's a good reason to not eat a thing, or it's a good reason to eat a thing.
Wow.
Like you could be the
Oh,
apex predator of
interesting.
apex predators because you respect them as apex
No,
predators.
I don't need to do that. I'm okay being lower on the totem pole than a
Than
lobster.
a lobster. Oh, nice. Wow.
Like, right? I'm okay with being lower in the pyramid of food.
yeah.
So you'd be fine if a lobster ate you, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, nice. Lobsters, hit me up.
Absolutely. Lobsters.
Get in my
me a
DMs.
call.
Slide into my DMs.
Oh my God. Don't do that.
No, please. Actually, just kidding.
Only if you're actually a lobster. I'm not. No, don't. Okay.
Yeah,
I
probably
take
better
it back.
just to
I
say
just
no
take it
on
back.
that.
Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Before we continue, we have some people to thank. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Card Kingdom. CardKingdom.com/GLHF, the place to go for all of your gaming needs. Especially, you can still pre-order Edge of Eternities from them. You can order singles from them if you're like, look, I need to get in on these basic lands. If you're me and you're like, that
Yeah.
Plains, this Plains, the
it
full art
sings to you.
Plains is changing my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Card Kingdom is the place to go for a card that's going to change your life, like a basic Plains.
Yep. And you will sell them your cards and
Yes.
you'll get additional store credit at
Yes.
a higher rate since
Yes.
you can get a whole bunch of basic
That's
cards.
right.
Nice.
What am I going to send them so that they will send me basic Plains? That's something I'm going to go find out. You can find out too. CardKingdom.com/GLHF. Thank you as well to our sponsor, Dragon Shield. Just the best stinking sleeves around. I
Bar
said
none.
it. Bar none. You
Yep.
know, that's all.
That's it.
What else do you need to say about
Yeah.
them?
I mean,
they make better looking sleeves. Their art is always incredible.
Yes.
It
I
is.
picked up their Vegas exclusives with the 5-colored dragons on them. They were gorgeous.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
They make
Yeah.
cool looking sleeves. If you're just a plain old colors person, which I am sometimes.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course, yeah.
plain old
Sometimes you don't
colors
wanna be
person
complicated.
Sometimes.
Yep,
They also have incredible colors. They have like the biggest range of colors.
Yep.
Dragon Shield, you can use the code GLHF in checkout,
Yeah.
during checkout,
Yeah, at checkout. Yeah.
Yeah.
in checkout. I said what I said. You can use it in checkout for 5% off your order. Make sure you use the link down in the show notes so that they know that we sent you. That's our episode, everybody.
Yeah.
Judge Rob, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Truly.
Thank you.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything from your PSA all the way to the Sphinx and everything in between. I will always remember that Sphinx. It was
my
the last
gosh.
card that we looked at, and I love it.
All those different
I
whirlpools that he
love
was looking into, those
it.
cosmic
Oh,
whirlpools.
it's just cool.
Yeah, you love Sphinxes.
I do love Sphinxes.
Remember when we played a Team Trios event and you said, I mastered every predicament? Like 5 people in a row played master predicaments against you and they never got it.
No, I mastered all
Hey,
predicaments.
and that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's Sphinx. What a creature type. Thank you once again to everyone who is a patron over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you especially to Sierra,
Yes,
our
truly.
new patron. And thank you again as well to our sponsors, Card Kingdom and Dragon Shield. If you are a patron at the producer level, make sure you stay tuned because we will have a special producer segment for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Until next time, stay safe on the edge, y'all. That's a saying,
good.
right?
Yeah.